Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for being here. Good to see everybody here in the chat. Lots of new faces I see. It's always nice. I'm going to leave the map up here for a little bit longer while we get things going. If you have a question, start your message with the letter Q. It makes it easier for me to find it later when we get going. And I try to get to all the questions roughly in order they're asked. Can't make any promises. We'll see how things go. Today we are checking out again the Rodecaster video, which is set up here on the desk. I've got the little screen for it here so we can play around with some stuff. I've got some video sources piped into it so we can try things out. So we're gonna try to answer your questions if you have any more questions about that. Otherwise, we will also just hang out and chat about live streaming. So great to see everybody. Yeah, if you have a question, start with the letter Q, just like Gwen did. FYI, the map has transparency. We can see your desk. Not sure if that's on purpose. Yeah, I was trying something new for the loading screen, the countdown screen. I always think it's cute when there's when you can kind of see through the to the behind the scenes when before the stream starts. So we'll see. I need to automate that because right now it was very manual. It was actually, I decided to do it on the ATEM SDI, which is doing the stream today. If you look at I think you can see it in the shot. Yeah, you can see it in the teleprompter. That's the multi-view of the ISO, which just has a couple of sources in it, and I piped in the desk shot into camera 3. And then the main ATEM is on input 1, and then I just did like a partial T-bar slide between the two. So yeah, it was very, very manual, but hey, it works. Maybe I will have to automate that for the next show. Question from Ben. Can you use HTML overlays within the Rodecaster video? So not right now. I have a feeling we'll see that at some point in the future, but right now, no, there's nothing like that. I would assume that it would be something that you would end up configuring in the Rodecaster software, the Rode Central software, but there's nothing in there right now for that. I very, very much hope they do add that, though. That would be super, super useful. No PK stand for the Rodecaster video yet. Well, the Index 3D guys were on the stream on Tuesday, so I don't think that actually this needs a full like stand to tip this up, because this is actually a nice angle, whereas like the ATEM is super flat. But what I do want is something to put the monitor closer on top of here, like sitting up here, because right now it's like awkward and back there and blocks all the cables. I want it like sitting, like floating up there. So we'll see if they come back with that soon. Okay, great questions coming in. Is there a better way to get? Is there any way to get a better motion through NDI cameras on YoloBox Ultra? YoloBox Ultra? My voice was not matching with the picture. There was a little bit of distortion. Oh, weird. Now I don't remember the particular formats of NDI that the YoloBox supports, but you could try a more compressed one, because it will depend on your network connection. So if you're like doing NDI over wireless, that's going to be less reliable than a wire if you have wires everywhere connecting them. So that would be the first thing I would do, is go to wired everywhere instead of wireless, because wireless is always going to cause some problem. And then you can try the different bit rates of NDI video, NDI HX. They have some of the apps let you change between like low, medium, and high. So those are things that could help. Can the Rodecaster video stream simultaneously to YouTube and Facebook? No, so it only goes to one destination right now. So there's, if you look, when you choose the streaming profile, you select one. So you can only choose one at a time. I have no idea if they have plans to change that and let you eventually stream to multiple, but it only goes to one platform. So if you did want to stream to multiple, you'll have to go through a restreaming service. There's plenty of those out there. Not terribly hard to find them. Morton says, the scene builder allows for up to 5 video sources. If I need different cropped areas from one video source, can I add the same source multiple times, and do they count against the limit? That's an excellent question. Let's find out. I think this is a great chance to do a demo. And I'm going to pop over to the, you know what I should do is I should put that in the super source 2. I'm also trying a new trick today for grabbing the screen of the Rode Central app, which is actually running NDI screen capture on my computer, capturing just this window and sending it to the ProConvert NDI. So that lets me go grab it without having the rest of my computer screen show up, which is kind of cool. So let's try this. So let's first go here and use a template and choose one of these that has 4. Maybe, yeah, this one. And then, so here are the 5 slots for the different angles that you can add. So the background, let's do that. And then camera A. And then the question was, can you use the same camera multiple times? So let's add this again. So it does count against the limit because there is only, these are the 5 slots, right? So it's not about the camera that you're bringing in, it's about the slots available. But you can crop them separately. So here, we'll just do this like here and here. And then if I go into this one, for example, I have to go make it a custom layout now if I want to change it. So here's the 5 slots. Oh, Gwen says you don't see the drop-down menus. Oh, my failed experiment. You're right. Only part of the UI is showing up. That's so funny. Ah, I have to switch back to the regular Mac screen share. That's not the end of the world. I just have to zoom my screen in a little bit so you can see it. You weren't seeing the drop downs here. That's important detail. Yeah, so here I can, this is where I'm choosing which sources to bring in. Main, overhead, right? But I can choose the same camera multiple times. And now that they're here, I can crop them separately. So let's say I have this here, and then I have maybe actually a better one is, well, let's make this one overhead. And then we will crop that one to show just the screen. Oops, that was scaling down. That's not what I wanted. We'll crop this to show just the screen. And then we will scale that up, and now I can show you the screen really big. And then here, let's grab, let's see, let's move that there. Let's move that there. And then this one will be, let's say it's the scroll wheels. Just taking apart the interface here. It's kind of fun though. The scroll wheels, and then I can make that bigger. And then this overhead is going to be just the buttons. And then I can make that bigger. Okay. And now I better crop on that. There we go. Now we've got buttons. We've got the little knobs up here. We've got screen over here. And now I just can't move my can't move the Rodecaster at all. So now now if I show you the let's go to the multi-view of this. So now I can, as I'm actually using this, you can see like the close-up. I guess I should just pipe it in or something. Where's my, oh, I don't have the actual program stream going. I guess I'll start this streaming. So let's go live to the studio, and then I'll change my, since apparently the NDI capture plan didn't work, let's go change my ProConvert to pull in the stream from the Rodecaster instead. So we're going to pull it in from, which one was it? Was it this one? Yes. Great. So now this is the stream from the Rodecaster itself. So the audio is going to be out of sync now because the audio is the live microphone. But now you can see as I'm poking at things. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. Whoa, great questions coming in. Wow. That's what happens when I go on a tangent for like 2 minutes. Okay, definitely put a Q in front of your question now because it's officially got enough going on in the chat that I will not see it if it doesn't start with Q. Let me just see if there's anything about this that I missed from earlier. So it's true that the multi-view is lagging. Yeah, the multi-view is not real time, but I know it's a little bit weird, but like I got used to it really quick. I don't really mind it. This part's not laggy. This part is like full 30 frames a second or whatever. These ones update less often. So you can see this, like the camera direct feeds are low frame rate, like I don't know, 5 or something. And then the scenes are like 1 frame a second. It like updates every second. it makes sense. It's a way to save CPU power. I don't really mind it. It took me like a minute to get oriented, but it's fine. Like I can tell what the scenes are. I don't need to see the individual cameras update real time. Okay. Michael says, I'm starting a broadcast class for middle school students, originally going ATEM Mini ISO Extreme and now swapping our plan to Rodecaster video. Can we record a live video to use the next day as is? So wait, can we record a live video to use the next day? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So the Rodecaster video does have ISO recording, so you can like, you know, do the full record everything, edit later. But if you just want to like do a quick turnaround, then yeah, you can just grab the program feed off of it. What am I doing with the cam link? Oh yeah, good question. So the cam link, it's got a little USB, USB-C to USB-A adapter here, but the there are 4 HDMI inputs, but then there's 2 USB inputs that you can use for either audio or video devices, webcams. The cam link looks like a webcam to this, so it's a way to get an extra HDMI input if you want. So I have it connected to another HDMI source so that I have a 5th video source in here that isn't a actual webcam. It's just like another HDMI. So that's what I was doing with it. It's kind of a cool trick. Andy says, how done was the Rodecaster video when we saw it way back when compared to what it is now? Yeah, good question. So I got my first sneak peek of this in January when they had the event in LA. And let's switch the background up a little bit. They had it out on the table to play with, and they were doing like demos of it, and it was more or less exactly what you see here. I think that there were a couple of features that they were talking about that didn't make the cut into what was shipped. So like, I know there's plans for things that are going to be added to this in the near future. And, but yeah, the screen printing on the back was a little bit different. I think it makes more sense what they ended up doing with it here. But it was more or less complete. So I guess they were just working on the, I don't know, finishing touches. I honestly don't know why it took so long, because it was supposed to be announced at NAB. I suspect it had to do with production, but I don't know. It would have been so hard for me to keep this a secret. It was extremely hard for me to keep this a secret. It was a struggle. It was a real struggle. That's why I was like, okay, I can make it to April. And then when it didn't come out at NAB, I was like, oh no. Now it's just like indefinite. I don't know when it's going to come out. I don't know when I can talk about it. So gosh, I'm so glad they launched it. It feels like, based on the couple things that didn't make the cut, it seems like maybe they were going to wait longer and just had to get something out. I don't know. So gosh, yeah. Aaron Patrick says, the Rodecaster can hook to the Rodecaster video, but can the Rodecaster X add an extra XLR HDMI wireless input? Oh, the Streamer X? That's an interesting idea. I have one down here somewhere. I think I have one down here. Not that drawer. Not that drawer. There it is. Do I have the power supply for it? So that's an interesting idea. What can you do if you combine these? Because this is essentially a capture card, HDMI in and USB audio would come out the USB. Theoretically, yes. Theoretically, yes. Let's try it. I'm curious. Do I have the right power supply for it? I think I had to steal the power supply from the Rodecaster video because the one they sent me had the wrong plug on the end. Oh, but I guess it should work with the Rodecaster Duo power supply. I should be able to actually yank that power supply out. Let's try that. And let's do that there. That USB is already plugged into USB 6. Okay. And then we need video for it. So let's grab, I'm going to grab, we don't have a good way to do this. Need another HDMI cable. Let's grab one from my HDMI cable tree. There we go. And then we're going to swap that around for that one. And that, let's not spill everything. Let's plug that in there. And that gives me video into this input. And then the output video from the Streamer X is just a pass-through. So it's nothing. What was that? That was loud. Weird. Nothing special to do on the output there. And then audio. I think I have a XLR cable here. So let's do that. And I have a microphone. Ta-da! Okay. What is going to happen? What do we think is going to happen with this? And then what video should I send out that? We're going to send out my main. Let's give it my side camera. So, okay, now if I look at, let's give that one the, so if I look at the multi-view of the Rodecaster, which is here, you see inputs 1 through 4 of the HDMI. So that's my main camera, the overhead shot, the shot from the wall. There's the 2 from the podcast being played back, and then camera 6 is the Streamer X. So we are getting video. If I press the so if I press the fade to black or the mute button, so that's the, can you see that? It's kind of hard to, I can't quite get this all in the right shot. Maybe I can actually use nope, it's blocked. I have a fancy new little PTZ head that I'm playing with. But yeah, so this button on the Streamer X is like a video mute, and you can see it's actually outputting that here. So then the other question is audio. Are we getting audio from this? So let's go into, I think I have to stop streaming in order to change the audio sources. So let's go add or remove channels, and we'll add in audio from USB 5, which is the Streamer X. And then are we getting audio from the Streamer X? I'm not seeing it on the meter. I should be seeing levels. Hello, hello, test, test. Don't you need phantom power for the mic? I think you're right. Let's turn that on. There's a button back here. Check, check. Nothing yet. And the volume is up. I don't remember what buttons I have configured on it. Not sure. Not sure if that's gonna do what we want it to do. We are getting video pass through. Are we getting audio from the other one? Let me check. USB 4. No, I'm also not getting audio from the cam link either. Interesting. So maybe audio only works if it's an audio device rather than a webcam. Actually, now that I say that out loud, I'm pretty sure they mentioned that to me when I asked at one point. Okay, so not quite the nice little expansion that we want, but interesting experiment. Now let me get this out of the way so I can actually use my computer again. It is cool that the video comes through though. Okay. Let's get that. Let's get this one plugged back in. And there. Okay. Great. Okay. Cool. Let's see what else we got in the chat. We got some more questions, I'm sure, by now. Was there anything else that I had to... okay. Wow. So many questions. So many questions. Okay, we're just going to go through these. Pedro says, do you expect in the near future a similar Rodecaster video but 4K from other companies such as Blackmagic or Roland? Thanks. Interesting question. To do a device that can do everything the Rodecaster video can do, but also in 4K is challenging. The only thing that is even remotely in the ballpark is the YoloBox Extreme, because it claims that it has 4K ISO recording and things like that. I'm not going to say those are equivalent devices at all, but it's the only thing that comes even close. I would not expect... I wouldn't really expect that, no. I think that... I also don't think it's really necessary, frankly. There's not a lot of reasons that you actually need to stream 4K. So, yeah. LCA Studios, what is the weight compared to the ATEM ISO? That's an interesting question. It is heavier, I would say. It is heavier. I think they actually list the specs, the weight in the specs on the website. It's definitely heavier. Roland has 2 4K options, but they're expensive and larger in size. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that like this, the size of this is small, and anything that you're going to get that's going to be 4K is going to be much, much bigger than this. I love this size. It's such a good size. I'm actually really glad they didn't make it the size of the Rodecaster audio one, because it's like, it's such a good size. I know the weight of the ATEM ISO from memory. I can feel it. Yeah, I can picture it. I don't have one here lying around weirdly. Usually I do. Oh, they're up on the shelf. How many of the picture-in-pictures can you make? I think I just showed that, right? Maybe that was from before. So you can do a background layer and then 4 video sources, cropping and scaling however you want. And if you don't want the background layer, you can use it as a 5th video. Is the Rodecaster video adequate enough to replace a PC? I'm currently in the process of buying a streaming PC with an ATEM Mini and PodTrack before. That would essentially cost the same. For a lot of things, I would trust this more than a streaming PC, frankly. I'm not a big fan of doing all of the audio and video processing on a PC. And at the point, you're also getting an ATEM Mini and an external audio interface, the PodTrack P4, and putting that into a computer. That just seems like more complicated than I would want to make it. It depends on what you're doing with it, obviously. So maybe if you wanna describe like what your setups, what your plan is for the content you're going to film or stream, maybe I can give you a better answer. Michael says, would Blackmagic Studio or micro cameras work with this device? Any issues with setting up cameras controlling output into the Rodecaster? So there's nothing special about the Rodecaster video doesn't have any special integration with the Blackmagic cameras the way that the ATEM does. So there's no like camera control option. So as far as the Rodecaster is concerned, they're going to be just HDMI cameras. So no reason it wouldn't work, but like there's nothing special about controlling it, if that makes sense. Nature Nerd Tech says, I'm currently using Ecamm to stream my IP cameras on my YouTube channel, Wildlife Live from my garden. Is there any way this could be done via the Rodecaster video? Absolutely, yes. And this is a good example of like, I wouldn't want to tie up Ecamm on a computer for that either. So, yeah, absolutely. You could, I don't know how many cameras you're doing with that, but, oh, I guess IP cameras, no. If you're pulling in the video feed from RTSP into Ecamm, can it do that? I haven't used Ecamm in a while. Can you pull in RTSP videos? Ecamm RTSP video. That's the special that they do have that feature in Ecamm. Okay, no, so that doesn't exist right now. Yeah, they're showing add a network camera in Ecamm. That's cool. I didn't actually know Ecamm had that feature. I suspect that might get added to the Rodecaster at some point, but it does not exist right now. So there are other devices though that do support that. For example, the Major Director Mini does. So that's an option if you want to offload get away from using your computer for that. But no, not the Rodecaster yet. What is? Oh, because I stopped the stream. Let's do that again. Okay. Okay. I've gone to some events to cover with my OBSBot tail air cameras. It was so awesome when I go live on YoloBox Ultra. Oh, there's the second part to this. I don't know where it went. Is there a second part to the question? There is. Is there any way to use motion text? Just as like video, I guess. So no, not really. The graphics options in this are you can add videos as media. So here I can actually like play back a video clip, and this one's like 2 minutes long even. So I can do that, or I can do overlays, but these are not videos. So not quite. Yeah. If you did want to bring in motion graphics, you'd have to do it through HDMI, which is there's a limit there, which I'm working on a video that explains it better, but I mentioned it in one of the videos I put out on Tuesday. Sienna also has an NDI app that shows the entire screen. Yeah, the point, my goal with this was that I wanted to window capture individual applications rather than screen capture, because I have my screen piped into the ATEM anyway for sharing the whole screen. But I wanted to be able to grab an individual application window and send that into the ATEM. I thought it would be a cool idea, but apparently the little overlays don't work. Drop-down menus and stuff. At some point, Blackmagic needs to come up with something new. The ATEM Mini line is quite old. I mean, the ATEMs themselves are quite old, right? Like, the ATEM Minis were a direct evolution of the ATEMs, which have been getting better over time, but they're fundamentally the same. And, actually, funny timing, funny that you should mention this. tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of my first ATEM purchase, which is this one. This was the very first ATEM that I bought. It is the ATEM Television Studio, not HD, just Television Studio. And it is this very small little rack mount device with no fan, has a heatsink for cooling. It has 4 HDMI ins, 4 SDI ins, but you can actually only use 6. There's only 6 video channels, so inputs 3 and 4 are labeled twice. So you get the option of switching 3 and 4 between either HDMI or SDI, which is kind of cool. I love having the combo. And then over here, there's a multi-view out and a program out, and old USB. You get 2 program SDIs and multi-view SDI. The audio input is only this digital audio, which is a pain in the butt to use. I remember having to search a lot for even find any gear that would let me get audio into this. It's not through HDMI. And it also doesn't even do 1080p. It just does 1080i. But it was incredible that this was only $1,000 at the time in 2014. So, yeah, it was amazing. And yet it is, and like the software control still works for it. It's just, and all the ATEMs, including the ATEM Mini, are a direct descendant of this. Like they all work the exact same way fundamentally. So I don't know if we'll ever see Blackmagic do anything that is going to be, like significantly different. I think that would be a surprise, frankly. I just remember the time when you got your Mini and then did multi-view with splitters. Yeah, when the original ATEM Mini launched, it didn't have multi-view in it, and I was like, well, I want multi-view, and because all of my other ATEMs in the past have had multi-view, so I put one together with a bunch of splitters and a multi-view controller, and weirdly that video did very well. I had the ATEM Television Studio HD, and the combo 4 SDI 4 HDMI was so nice to have. Yeah, totally. The that was the second ATEM that I bought when that came out. Also incredible device, but and still weirdly, very few devices mix HDMI and SDI, which turns out it's really handy. Regarding the ATEM Mini being old and released initially in 2019 actually. I remember the first ATEM Mini, I did all the videos in December 2019 about it. I support innovation, but I hate change for the sake of change. I totally agree. I think that there's some companies do try to just make changes for the sake of making changes, but I do think that Blackmagic has done a very good job of making changes like when necessary. And like the original, like they don't sell the original ATEM Mini anymore, but they priced the ATEM Mini Pro now at what the original ATEM Mini was, and it's still a good device, like for what it does. But yeah, this thing is just, it's just very different. Okay, I'm gonna keep getting to the questions, otherwise I'm gonna get so far behind. In the scene builder, can you edit the absolute numbers for size, position, and cropped areas? I think so. Let's find out again. Let's try this again. Let's go here. Can I edit these numbers? So let's say I wanted to like make these the same height. So this is 320, and then what's this one? This one is 329. So let's see. Can I type 320? Yeah, I can. Great. So you can be more precise. I've also given them feedback that I would like these to be just a little bit like, I would like things to like snap, because a common thing I want to do is like center this, right? And it's really hard to tell if it's centered just because these things are so thick. So I would like it to like snap there, or like snap to the middle, things like that. We'll see if they can change that. Ben says, has the Rodecaster Video become your go-to device? Well, so for my studio, no, because my studio is out of control. It's ridiculous how much stuff is in here. And it's because the content that I do is about testing streaming devices. So like I can't really film a comparison of, or a overview of the Rodecaster video on the Rodecaster video. At least not in the way that my workflow works, which is like the reason I have all these patch things on the desk is because this lets me pull video cameras. Like my main camera is being routed into both the Rodecaster and the stream so that you can see it, right? So like that's why I have all these splitters and ports and other stuff and whatever, right? But like for a small studios, like filming, you know, actual content, not this kind of content, I would say this is very, very high up in the list for what I would pick for that. There are a couple of things that are missing before I could, for example, use it to replace Lily's studio upstairs for her podcast, her live stream. But I suspect they will ship those in a firmware update soon. The big missing feature, in my opinion, is so like for a show like this, like once I'm live, it's fine, and I can, you know, mix audio. I can grab audio from any of the inputs or whatever. The thing that's missing is if I want to make, like, if I want to play back a video clip or have a countdown timer as a scene, I would like to be able to mute my microphone when that scene is on the air. So like if I went over to this scene, and let's say it's like, even in this case, like a totally different set, right? It's because it's just coming from some other room. I want audio to change when I press that scene, and I want to go back to the main audio when I'm on this scene. And that doesn't exist right now. So that, I think, is it's less important if you're doing like podcast recording where you're going to edit stuff live or edit stuff after. But if you're doing it for live, you kind of need that kind of audio options. You have to do it all manually right now, which is just a little bit more cumbersome. Aaron says, what monitor would you recommend for the Rodecaster video? Sounds crazy, but I was thinking the YoloBox Ultra, so at least it has a use going forward. I mean, if you already have one, sure. I mean, I actually like this one that I have here on the desk. It's one of the reasons I got it is it has HDMI and SDI inputs, which is probably less important for you. But let me find the link to that. It is this one, LILLIPUT A11. I like this monitor a lot. It's a good size. It's slightly narrower than the Rodecaster video. It's like about the same width as the ATEM Mini. And it is actually supports like full HD resolution. Actually, I think it supports 4K too. Not that I ever used that, but it's a good size. The 7-inch ones are nice too, but they're just a little bit small, especially these, because these rectangles are kind of small. I think the 7-inch would be a little bit too small for this. TVND Studio, is there any integration between the Rodecaster Video and Rodecaster Pro in terms of audio control? No. So you can connect the Rodecaster Video and Rodecaster Pro or Duo, Pro 2 or Duo, and they're connected over USB right now. And the only connection is really just the like main audio mix or the USB audio mix from this. So it's, you know, 2-channel audio into this. There's no, I would love to be able, for example, to use this as an actual controller for the audio mixer in here. But in this setup, this is where all the audio is being mixed. And then there's just like a single audio feed being brought into the Rodecaster video. What I actually really want from Rode, which this is, I might have to do a video just about this, just to send to them. What I actually really want to see from them is the control button, this part of the control surface with the faders and the mute buttons, which all it does is a controller for the Rodecaster video. So there's no XLR inputs or anything. It's just to give me physical knobs for the audio mixer that's in here. Because this is basically like a full Rodecaster Duo built in. Like I can bring in USB audio. I can bring in 2 XLR. I can bring in wireless microphones, just like this one. But once it's in here, there's no there's no way for me, there's no buttons here for the audio. This is, all these buttons are just for video mixing. It's like you have to go into here and then you can kind of use the menu to, like, here is, adjusting the level of that, but it's not, then there's no mute button either, right? Like there's no quick way to mute this channel either. So like, that's why I want the Rodecaster Duo knobs and buttons so I can adjust the audio mixer that's in this. So that's what I want. Gwen says, can you flip mirror sources? Taylor Swift Eras Tour had iMac split screen of same source with one flipped and it looked pretty cool. ATEM and Duet don't flip or mirror. Correct. The ATEM and the Duet don't have any image flip features. I don't think this one does either. It would be, if it exists, it would be here. But it would be in like the scene builder. But yeah, there's no like option to mirror this. It would be cool. Doesn't seem super critical to me, but that would be very cool. Matt says 1 to 3. Oh, okay. My take is, if you already have a Rodecaster Duo, you're paying half the price to replace it with the same thing without the physical buttons. I agree. If it is a little bit weird that it's a little bit weird that the Rodecaster Video has essentially the audio mixer of the Duo inside it, because if it didn't, presumably it could be cheaper. So like, and I like the Duo with its knobs. So if they made a cheaper version of this where I would then do all my audio in the Duo, that would make sense. Or the other option is, like I just suggested, give me just the controller that's in the Duo with the knobs so that I can control the audio mixer that's in here. 2 of 3, the Rodecaster Video with my Ultra and more by simply connecting the Rodecaster Pro 2 to the Ultra. Yeah, so if you have the Duo and the YoloBox Ultra, that's a pretty good combo, because the YoloBox audio mixer is not a lot of good audio features. Same with the ATEM, frankly. I mean, the ATEM at least has the good audio processing in it, but there's no knobs, there's no, yeah. So, I agree. Roger Science Corner, with the release of the Rodecaster Videocaster, I like how everybody's calling it the Videocaster. Do you see the feature of the OSEE GoStream deck? Yeah, I mean, again, they're still pretty different devices. Those are more comparable, frankly, between the Rodecaster and the OSEE versus the Rodecaster and the ATEM, because there's so much missing in the ATEM Mini 4 input. Like, I think somebody asked this. Yeah. This versus ATEM Extreme ISO versus YoloBox and YoloBox Ultra. Well, the problem with the ATEM line is that on the 4 input version, there's only one HDMI out. So whereas this one already has 2 outputs, and that gives you already more flexibility, even though you can't do aux out routing yet, which I hope they add. But the other huge limit of the ATEM Mini is that it doesn't have the super source feature. So, and the super source feature is what lets you do like the layouts like this, where you have like a side by side, and scale down and things like that. The ATEM Mini only has the upstream key, which lets you do picture in picture, but not this kind of split screen side by side layout. So in order to get that in an ATEM, you have to go up to the ATEM Extreme. But really interestingly, the OSEE GoStream, which is the price of the ATEM Mini, does have the ability to do side-by-side layouts. I would say the biggest difference with the side-by-side layouts, though, is that this one lets you create multiple scenes. Like you can see, I've got this weird cropped out scene already created there, and it's like they're all saved, and I can see them, and I can see what button I use to press it. In the ATEM and in the GoStream, there's only one like generator for the scene, and in order to make it do something different, you have to like reprogram it. So you could do that with a macro or manually. So that's a huge difference. But the GoStream, like, it's so much cheaper, right? It's like $300. So I still think it's going to have a lot of uses, even when you don't need the rest of the stuff that's in this, right? Shoji Productions, how is the build quality? Great. I mean, it feels good. It's solid. It's got nice weight to it. I like the plastic. The knobs are nice. The buttons are not quite as squishy as the ATEM buttons, which is nice. I like it a lot. Bill says, can you import the session into a DAW like you can do with ATEM Mini to re-edit or clean up the camera cuts? No, not exactly. So they don't have an XML file created at the moment. I think that's going to come in an update soon, I suspect. But it does do ISO recording, so you can still bring all the video files in. You just don't, there's no edit file. So you have to kind of like manually clean it up. What I would recommend is if you're just trying to clean up small fixes, maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show this. Let me grab the drive that's got the recordings and show what I mean. If Resolve will launch, you can do it. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. So if you grab all the files on a drive, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Let's move that over to that desktop. So here's an ISO project. Yeah, so we've got, this is the program feed. And then you've got the ISO files. So what I would do is I would go bring them all in, and then take your show onto the timeline. Oh, it's so short. That's a bummer. I should have picked one that was longer. And let's say there was a mistake in here and you wanted to fix it. Well, this is the same length, right? Oh, it's not. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. They're all a few frames different. It's like 324 is the program. Huh. That one stopped a frame earlier. So it's like it stopped the files at different frames. Fascinating. I did not notice that. Okay, well, they're all at the beginning of the Michelle lineup. So what I was saying is what I would do is, let's say you wanted that shot to come in here. So, you know, once it's lined up, you can just crop it. And now you've got your fix cut. But I suspect they'll add a XML file soon. You did a great job keeping details a secret while still teasing it. Thanks. You did good. We were trying all kinds of ways to pull it out of you. I know, right? Does the Rodecaster Duo 4 mic input show up on the Rodecaster video? And if so, can I assign those mics? No. So that is unfortunately not possible. So again, it's like once you have the two connected, this is all the audio is getting mixed here, and it sends the final mix 2-channel version to here. So unfortunately, it's not, you can't bring in the individual, it's not like multi-track between them. So if you want to do the video follows audio auto switching feature, you need the individual audio sources into here. So the easiest way is to just bring them into the cameras, for example. Mr. Stewart says, can you stop, pause, and play video while it is in the super source? So weirdly, right now, there's absolutely no control over the video playback. So if you look at, if I go into this and start playing a video, it just starts and stops. So there is the option of where is it? When you add the video to here, you can choose whether you want it to loop at the end or play once. So that's the option that you have for the video clips, but there's no playback controls at all. I can't even fast forward or pause or rewind. I have a feeling that was one of the things that they just had to rush out the door to get this shipped. So I would not be surprised if we see some more controls for that later. But yeah, sadly, there's no playback controls at all right now. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Aaron Patrick. Thank you for answering my questions on the Rodecaster video, now on pre-order UK. I hope you can get it soon. Don't know the ship date, the expected ship date of it in the UK. Jason said, I just ordered the YoloBox Ultra and a Rodecaster Pro for a remote streaming setup. Now this came out. Just ordered this too. I mean, you'll have fun with all of it. It's all good stuff. StreamYard has 4K streaming, but you have to pay for it. I mean, that makes sense. Michael says, to clarify, besides individual audio video files, can you export the stream with a composite layout in some way, or does the stream only go to a source like YouTube? So it does have a program recording. So in addition to go back to the drive. So these are the individual video files, but it does save also this file, which is including all your layouts and cuts and all that. It's just in one video file. These are just kind of like the ISO files, individual sources. How is it possible when you book an event where there's 600 people big? How can I run the wires of the camera to the YoloBox? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Welcome to event production. So fiber HDMI cables are a thing now, and they can get quite long, certainly longer than regular HDMI cables, and they're not that expensive anymore. So that's one option. And it's easy because it's HDMI on both ends, so you can plug it directly into the YoloBox or your cameras. Traditionally, what people do for things that large would be SDI, and that's why like you'll often see the bigger ATEMs at these events, because those are all SDI devices, because they assume your things are going to be running longer distances, and then you're going to use cameras with SDI, or if you're not using SDI cameras or SDI switchers, then you need converters at both ends, and it just kind of starts to add up and gets really bulky really fast. But that's actually also why these the ATEMs with the combo of SDI and HDMI are so useful, or like the OSEE, now the GoStream Duet, because you can run SDI for your long cameras, but then HDMI for your stuff that's close to you. So the other option, of course, is wireless, and comes with the risk of wireless, but it is possible to use wireless links between for cameras that are farther away, and depending on the event and how critical that particular camera angle is, it can be a good option. There's tons of wireless converters out there. I actually have one that's plugged into my this camera. So there's a slight delay on this compared to the other cameras, but I've got this on a little PTZ head that I can move around now, or I guess it's a PT head. The Z is the lens. And you can see this is my $100 PTZ head, tripod head, and you can see it's definitely not high quality. It's shaking, it's a little jerky. I'm not going to use it for smooth camera movements, but I can at least move it around if I want to, which is kind of fun. Andrew says, I was surprised to learn after testing that all video and images must be 1920 1080. It seems like quite a limitation no one seemed to mention. Is that true? It's not true, no. I have an example of this, which I can show you. Let me go into my folder of, where is it? Folder for Lily's show has better graphics than my show. I really need to fix that. So it's just because she has so many little cute cats and stuff. Oh, maybe not that folder. maybe Livestream graphics, this folder. Yeah, okay. So here I have a folder full of graphics like, oh, these might actually be 1920 1080. These ones should be, oh, they are already scaled. Do I have anything that's not 1920? This is because for the ATEM, they all have to be 1920 1080. I must have some graphics in here that are not 1920 by 1080. Okay, random graphic. Random size, it is 1800 by 1200. So if I go into the overlays section, I can drag that one in. Oh, height is bigger than 1080. Okay, so now we know that. Oh, here's one. I already put one in. I put her logo in there. 1032 by 505. So it can't be bigger than 1080, but it can be smaller. And that is loaded into B. And here you can actually adjust it. You can scale it up or down. So I've actually taken the, what is it, 505. So the original graphic is actually 505. What? The original graphic is actually this big. And that's obviously too big. So I scaled it down. I need to make myself a little logo. Don't know why I don't have one. But yeah, so apparently your graphics have to be shorter than 1080, but they don't have to be exactly 1080. What is USB 1 chat audio source? Is there some sort of talkback? So it's, I have to plug this into my computer to it's actually not plugged into the computer, which also is interesting that the Rode Central software works over the network, including pulling the video stream, which I thought was really interesting because this video stream is not coming from, it's not coming from USB. My Rodecaster is not plugged in over USB right now. It's actually just over the network, which is a very cool little trick. But let me get this plugged into the computer, and actually should make sure it's plugged into USB 1. So with that, let's see, what's the best way? Maybe if I open Zoom. Don't know why I'm not signed in. Why is my mouse lagging? Okay. Something is interfering with my mouse when it's over there. This is the problem with wireless. What I wanted to show was the audio sources. So in Zoom, I can choose my audio and speaker and mic. So here I have Rodecaster Video multi-track, which is the main audio, or I have chat. And it's basically just that it's sending you can send two different mixes to the computer. So for example, what do people usually use this for? It's called chat because it's usually for like, now I can't remember the exact configuration for this, but if I wanted to use the Rodecaster Video chat mix in Zoom, it means that back in the Rode Audio Mixer, I can go make a separate mix for chat, which is currently set to mix minus, but I can make a custom mix, for example. So it just lets you send two different audio mixes back to the computer over USB 1. Matt says, I saw someone this week using a Pocket 3 with one. Oh, interesting. When I tried it, it didn't work. I wonder why. What kind of quality do you get from the USB out video? Is it webcam quality? yeah, now that I have it connected, I guess I can pull it up in Zoom. So change the camera to Rodecaster Video. So this is the Rodecaster Video USB. We can go to scene A. It's very meta. I can go to scene C, which is that complicated one. I mean, it looks fine to me. I don't know what webcam quality means. It looks pretty sharp. Yeah. Let's take the ATEM USB out to the Rode USB. Sure. I should be able to plug in an ATEM into the Rode. We've got, I can take out the cam link and let's see. How should I do this? I've got this USB cord. I don't need to plug into the computer. So let's plug that one into USB 4. And then I actually do have, that's not going to work. I think this USB port, one of these is the ATEM. Let's find out. Not that one. Is it that one? I need to label these. Is it that one? No. Maybe it's this one down here. I could have sworn that one was connected. 4. Maybe it doesn't work. So it does have to be uncompressed UVC. That's the one thing I did read in the manual. And it's possible the ATEM, I know I don't remember what format the ATEM outputs. It looks like that is not going to work. Aiden says, can you separate each input in software like OBS? Oh, Andre says ATEM does MJPEG, so that means it won't work. Okay. Can you separate each input in software like OBS? No. So the output that it sends is a single video output. So if you, I guess I can plug this back into the computer. If I plug this back into the computer is going to see only one video source. There isn't really, there's not a lot of options if you want multi-capture, multi-source capture. There's like, the Elgato makes one. Elgato, what's it called? Camlink Pro. But the problem is that they're all going to be, they are all going to be cards, like PCI cards. So, not. Why are there so many noises outside today? So Camlink Pro, for example, and that looks like this, where it's got 4 HDMI ports and it's a card that you put into your computer. But that's like the only way to get multiple capture into your computer, really. I don't think there's any USB or Thunderbolt devices that do that. You can put that into a Thunderbolt enclosure, which is what I have done here at one point. But Emerald says AverMedia USB. Really? USB capture. Do they have multi-capture? Do they have anything that is not? Oh my God, they have so many. I didn't realize this. How many they had. I can't tell from these pictures. Well. Oh, no, missed the multi-capture requirement? Yeah, no. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind in the questions. I'm sorry. I'm trying. SuperSource, yes. So they don't call it SuperSource. It's just called it's called scenes. But yeah, you can create these kind of side by side and crop layouts. And you can create multiple of them, like this weird one we created earlier, picking apart the screen and scaling the different parts of the video of the overhead video. But yes, that's one of the actually really unique features of a device like this, is that it does actually support this kind of layout. Because again, not that many of them do. So Inlate's not sure what you're trying to do. Saw the pod mic as you put it away. Senpai Gaming showed when using the pod mic, the headphone out on the mic had its own mix in the Rodecaster video. That's cool. It must have been connected over USB then. NDI? No, not at the moment. It's possible it could come in the future, but there's no NDI right now. There are a few capture cards that allow for 2 HDMI inputs. Put the names down in the chat. I'm curious, because I have the only other one that I've seen that is even close is this little one. There's a couple that work like this where it's 2 HDMI ins, but this is actually a little mini switcher. So it's not sending 2 video feeds to the computer. Andrew says, I use my YoloBox and ATEM as a backup to the Rode. What is the best way to send the audio out to each device? YoloBox and ATEM as a backup. So if you're doing a stream with the Rodecaster video and you want a backup of them, probably the best way to send the audio out is just over HDMI, same way that you're getting the video out, right? So if you use one of the second HDMI ports to go out, program out into another device, it would also, it could also send audio out as well. There is a setting for that though. You have to go into, where is it? Is it video? Yeah, HDMI. No, it's in, where is it? Device? No. Maybe it was not in that. Maybe it was in the Rode Central. Device configuration. Yeah, in audio, HDMI out. There it is. So you can choose whether your HDMI has audio or not. So set it to live mix, and then it'll have the live audio mix. That's probably the easiest way to do it. I think they mostly do picture, but yeah. So that's the problem with this, is it's not actually sending 2 video streams to the computer. It's sending 1 video stream. It's just that this has 2 inputs. So it's a little mini switcher, basically. Can you stop, pause, and play a video while it's in SuperSource? I think we already talked about that. No. The device looks very tall. Is the specified 614 millimeters the actual full height, or do the knobs extend beyond the measurement? I think you asked this in a comment, actually. So here I got a ruler out to measure. The device itself is, the top of the case is at like 500 millimeter. 500. Not 500 millimeters. 50 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 50 millimeters. There we go. 600 millimeters will be huge. So that's 5 centimeters. The knob takes it up to the 614. So the top of the knob is at 614, but the case is like 5. Can an input change trigger a video that is loaded into a box within a scene, just like how an ATEM triggers a HyperDeck? Oh, that's an interesting one. Let's find out. This is a good one. Let's go back into here and make a scene that has a video clip in it. So let's say this scene has nothing in it. So let's delete this. So here, let's do a template scene and let's make it a side by side. We can give it a background, and then we can put here the overhead shot, and here we can put media. So here, let's play the drone video. And then let's find out what happens when we cut to it. Again, the video playback options are kind of limited right now. Maybe this is clearer if I do it this way. So I can see that in scene B, even though it's only updating like 1 frame a second, the drone video is paused. If I press scene B, it is rolling. It did auto roll the video. And if I go away from scene B, then go back to scene B, I think it's going to start at the beginning. Yeah, starts at the beginning. So yes, it auto rolls, but there is no playback controls right now. There's no like some of the other devices would have options like, or like the iPad app that I use would have options like pause the video if it's switched away to and then resume from the same spot or things like that. So a couple of the other big feature that I want them to add for video playback is when the clip is done playing, auto switch back to a camera angle or preview. For example, when I roll this clip, which is like a 3-second intro segment thing, well, for once, I don't want it to loop, but right now it will just pause at the end. And I actually want it to auto switch back because it's really hard to get the timing right to cut back to the main shot at the end of the video clip. So hopefully they add that. Next order of business, you start your own TV station. Pretty much is the TV station. Can you control the Rode via a Stream Deck? Currently, no. I have a very strong suspicion that there is OSEE support coming to this. So I hope the answer is yes very soon. Oh my gosh, I'm only to the point in the chat where I was talking about the monitor. I'm so sorry. So many questions. So nobody talks about OSEE anymore. That's not true. A lot of people talk about OSEE. It's still a good device. I am very seriously considering whether to bring the OSEE or the Rodecaster for the event on Saturday that I'm filming. I'm not sure which one I'm going to bring yet. The thing that is talking me out of the OSEE is that it doesn't do ISO recording. That's like, if it had ISO recording, it would be perfect. Quick Tech Solutions, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for testing the auto roll within the scene. I'm glad it works that way. Can you control it with Companion? No, but yes, hopefully very soon via OSC. Is it likely they will add the ability to route HDMI input directly to one of the HDMI outputs in a firmware update? I really, really, really hope so. I'm pretty sure I've made the argument for why they need to add this, because this is one of the reasons that I'm considering using the OSEE for the event on Saturday, because I can route the output differently. What I might end up doing is just bringing both, and then, yeah. Piggybacking off of Robert's question, are there keyboards command for the software? Oh, I don't think so. Nothing's documented, that's for sure. What if they could sort of fit faders above the scene buttons without making it bigger? I mean, like having a whole new device. I guess they could have put faders up here, but then it'd be weird that they didn't line up with the buttons. So like, you would expect that the faders would correspond to like the HDMI inputs or something. You'd have this many faders up there. They'd be pretty small. I don't know. I don't want a V2 of this yet. We've only had this out for a week. I think Zephyr said he also asked Rode for the ability to route HDMI. Good. I had a very long conversation with the product manager, and I made a lot of feature requests to them. Would any audio mixer with USB out be accepted in the Rodecaster video, or only Rodecaster mixers? I did test the Zoom PodTrack P4 and it did not show up. So, and then I went and looked in the manual and it actually says it works with Rodecaster Pro 2 and Rodecaster Duo, not even the original Rodecaster. I don't know if that was an oversight or if that's actually correct. But yeah, currently it only says it works with Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Duo. Should I sell my Rodecaster 2 for this? Are you sure mic's connected to the ATEM? I mean, again, the big thing that's missing from this is physical knobs. So like if you like your physical knobs on the Rodecaster, then keep that. If it had dials like the Mackie DLZ XS and a screen, it would have been nice. I mean, now you're talking about like a whole thing the size of like the whole table. I don't know. No doubt no switcher has this audio. 10K video switchers assume a separate audio board. Yeah, that's like, I think what people don't understand about this is that it is not just a video switcher. It is also an audio mixer. And comparing this to saying it's like the ATEM is better or whatever, like it's not even in the same product category at that point. So I don't know. Kent, great question. For Rodecaster video, any features for remote guest workflows? For example, if one of my guests was remote, what's the best way to bring them to this device and return a feed to them, same as the ATEM? So the one thing that this has that the ATEM does not have that makes it really hard in the ATEM is the audio mix. Speaking of audio mixer. Getting a remote guest into this is not going to be easy, but there are a couple of different options. Probably the easiest option is not the best option, but the easiest option is is using Zoom. But the reason that it's a lot easier in this compared to the ATEM is because of Mix Minus. So if I go over to Rode Central, I can go, I've got this plugged in, right? I've got USB 1 set to Mix Minus. So if I set my computer audio, or actually my Zoom audio, to use the speaker as Rode video multitrack, and the microphone is also multitrack, then the Zoom guest gets sent into the Rodecaster, but the audio from that guest does not get sent back into the computer, which is exactly what you want for remote guests. And in the ATEM, there's only one audio mix, so as soon as you get the remote guest audio into the ATEM, it's going to come back out the USB port, which is silly. So then you have to do all your audio in something else. So that alone makes it a lot easier here. The trick, though, is how do you actually get your remote guest video into there? Well, for that, again, without a bunch of extra hardware, the easiest way would be like take your Zoom window, your Zoom meeting, and then move it in, like plug your computer into one of the inputs as a second monitor, and then just drag this over to the Rodecaster. And because you can actually do crop layouts and stuff, you can actually crop out the Zoom UI too, which is kind of a neat trick. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do a demo of the remote guest features in this soon, because I do think it's going to be a lot easier in this compared to other things, but there's still a couple of tricks to it. And I'm hoping I can get Tom on to do a stream remotely, which would be fun. Andre says, that's why I'm actually baffled with the ATEM Extreme. We have the full Fairlight, but no Mix Minus. I know, it's really weird they don't have Mix Minus in the ATEM. Auto switching, I understand you link an audio in, so perfect for video podcasts, but can you set it to go wide every so often, a video not linked to an audio source? Not exactly like that, but you do have in the auto switching setup, you do have this, so in order for it to be, actually what happens if you don't set an audio source, but set it to high priority? So I've got one, oh, I don't have any audio coming into this combo jacks. Let me fix that. This is the test audio from the podcast. So at least we'll have two different people talking at different times. I don't have the video coming in from the podcast, but that's okay. So if I turn on auto switching, we should be getting switching between. Let's try low priority for, or medium priority for all three, like the, see, camera 1, 2, and 3, but then high priority for camera 4, but it doesn't have any audio. Are we ever going to see it switch to camera 4? I don't know if that is going to happen. Let's find out. We're looking for that one to show up. I'm guessing no. Yeah, it looks like it's not. Oh, there it did go. So, okay. So yeah, there's no audio set for input 4, but it did cut to it at one point. So there it goes again. I marked it as high priority, so I guess it's just gonna do some random math. So yeah, possibly. Stress test, please. Yeah. Where is my little? I guess I can turn on the HyperDecks. I leave them turned off because they're kind of loud. And I do have a 1080-30 clip here. So let's see if I pop it into HyperDeck, and we have to go change it to load from the card. Active media is the SD card. Let's see. Great. Okay, that's playing. Then, what do I do with that other HDMI? Let's take out that one. And I should have HDMI out from that HyperDeck here. Let's see if I did that right. Oh no. You hear the frame counter? Do I have audio from that turned on? Let's see. Where? Yeah. There we go. Turn that off. Don't need that. I didn't realize that was going to the stream. That's funny. Oh, it was when I was doing. It was when I was for Lily's stream. I had her remote audio coming in that way. So okay, so we've got oh, the auto switching is still on. So we've got the clip playing here. Oh, I can use my PTZ camera to show you the HyperDecks. My can of air for all the getting all the dust off. I had to get the dust off a lot. Let's zoom that in. Oh, that's as close as I can zoom. There we go. So, okay, so the stress test is playing. It's not very in focus. HDMI over to the Rodecaster. Here is the stress test clip playing. You can see it in the multi-view here. And what we're looking for is color quality. Like, do we see in the little circles? You should see a darker, slightly darker version of the circle inside each circle. And I do see them. And also frame drops. Are we seeing any frame drops in here? And it looks like I don't, actually, which is good. So that's in the multi-view. What about in the streaming output? So here is we are actually streaming into my studio right now, and the stream is being shown back to you in the little corner, the thing in the corner. And I do not see any frame drops there either. That's good. So far, so good. Yeah, that's cool. I'll let that run for a little while. Can it launch videos in SuperSource like a HyperDeck, says Mr. Stewart? Yes, we did take a look at that. We saw that already. So yeah, I have a video queued up in scene B, and it will just start auto playing when I bring that on the air. And now you can see it's playing up there, so I can come back to the stress test. For wireless connectivity, do you have to use Rode mics? Yes, so it only pairs with Rode wireless mics, but that's either the Rode Wireless Go 2, no, Wireless Pro. I forget their names. Oh my God. Now I can't remember exactly which combination of wireless mics. It's whatever's like, I think it's only the newest generation ones, or the Interview Pro works with it also. Kevin says, for the one-man sports webcaster, it still looks though the Major Director Mini is more useful than the Rodecaster Video, especially the ability to control the process remotely. Oh, I mean, remote control. Yeah, right now there's no remote control of this other than from the desktop app, but that's not really remote. There's definitely reasons why the Director Mini is gonna do better for you. It really depends on what you're trying to do. I'm just trying to show you everything you can do with this so that you can get a better sense of whether it's going to work for you. Because none of these things are necessarily better than the others. Micah says, hypothetically, you could plug the ATEM webcam output into the Rodecaster. No. So unfortunately, we tried that. Did not work because the ATEM is MJPEG, not uncompressed UVC. So sadly, no. URL overlays? No. Not at the moment. I'm hoping they're going to add that. I got the strong impression that they're going to add that later. 95 minutes. Check. Well, we're going until I get tired of talking today. I'm trying to get to all the questions, but there's so many. Oh, well, here we go. Wireless Go 2, Me Pro, and Interview Pro. Great. Thank you. Same as Rodecaster Pro 2. Yeah. Swell Nerd Production says, on the ATEM Extreme ISO, the first two HDMIs don't work for wireless transmission. Does this have the same issue like the Holylands? So it's not that they don't work for wireless transmission. It's that on the ATEM Extreme, the first two inputs are different HDMI chips than the rest of the inputs. And for whatever reason, some sources don't like those chips. The reason they're different chips on those two is because the ATEM Mini Extreme has the option to, has two outputs, and you can like do a pass-through to the output, and the pass-through then will bypass all video processing. It's like direct from, so there's like no latency, there's no, I guess, actually, now that I think about it, I've never actually tried this. I assume it also is the original audio from the input rather than the audio in the ATEM. But it's meant for like when you're doing like gaming, you have your gaming PC connected into the ATEM, and then you have your output connected to a monitor, and you need it to be low latency, no video processing added. This does not have that feature at all, so I assume that the inputs of all four inputs are the same. Whether they're going to work with your wireless transmitter is going to be, you know, it's a crapshoot. All HDMI is not created equal, as you have found, but it isn't because they're wireless. So it's just that sometimes HDMI things don't negotiate. Blaze says, given so many devices are network-based these days, do you have a recommended AV network switch? I haven't done a lot of digging into this. Everything in here is all Unify devices, which are not, at least until recently, not recommended for like Dante audio, but are fine for all the control level stuff. But Unify is working on stuff to like better tune the network for that kind of real-time audio video. So I haven't done a lot of digging into the options yet, though. So yeah, I just decided to go Unify because I like how simple it is to manage everything. Emerald says, chat is usually used to bring in like your Discord or Zoom or Skype. Okay, that makes sense. Um, 4 people have asked about NDI. You need a banner overlay that says no NDI in the corner. Should I just like put the most frequently asked questions in a little scrolling ticker across the bottom? Han says, actually, this unit solves the problem I asked last week to be able to mute audio to the projector in the menu and still have audio sent to Zoom. Yeah, you're right, it does. Wait, does it? Because there's no separate audio mix for the HDMI out. Okay, yeah, right. You can make a USB mix, which is your custom mix. And then let's say, so that's what you're sending to Zoom. And then your live mix could mute a microphone. And then it will, oh, no, it's not. It's not, we don't want to mute it. Let's see. Maybe we want to just drop that down. And then USB should still be getting, if we unlink it, now we can bring it back up for Zoom. Let's see if that's true. Why is nobody talking? This must be like the beginning of the podcast when I was getting things ready. There's no audio on either channel right now. Come on, say something. Let's try it with this one. So that's because that's me talking. So live mix, drop that down so we don't hear it in the HDMI out, because the live mix is what's HDMI. And then USB, we can unlink and bring it back up. Are we getting audio in? No. So it is, oops. So live mix affects the ability. That's not how I thought that worked. That's interesting. USB, so live mix is like, if it's not on in live mix, you can't bring it in to one of the submixes. That is, because if I turned it down in live mix, then I don't even see it here anymore. Interesting. Oh, I learned something. I'm not sure I agree with the way that works. So I don't think it solves your problem then, because the projector is going to be getting the video from the HDMI out, but that audio is only live mix. So there's not a separate. You might need to unlink it first. I did. It's hard to see, but that's unlinked. Now it's linked. So it's unlinked. Bringing it up doesn't, because it's showing me that's the live mix. Huh. That's super weird. Okay, moving on. Could an update by Rode enable 4444? Probably not. Probably not. Hard to tell. So they are submixes of the master live mix and not separate mixes. It seems like it, yeah. Interesting. When a webcam is connected, is it possible to control the settings like Elgato? No, it is not. Are you a scout? You're always prepared regarding the ruler. No, it's just that I have these drawers now. I have like drawers down here where I can put things that are easily accessible, and all these drawers back here, so I can actually like have things that are arm's distance instead of having to run across the room. It's great. That doesn't sound right. It could be early days bug. That's true. It could be a bug. That's really weird. Well, I'll pass that on to them. How weird. Okay. We talked about web graphics. Not possible yet. I think it's coming. Do you think dials on the Stream Deck Plus could be an option once support is added companion? Yeah. Has anybody tried to connect the Mackie DLZ? One other shortcoming of the Rodecaster 2 is no auto mix. Officially, the Mackie won't be supported over USB, but I guess if you ran the analog output, it would. Speaking of which, Stop and Think says, is the original Rodecaster Pro compatible with Rodecaster Video? I think not, because in the manual it says specifically Rodecaster Pro 2 and Rodecaster Duo. But I don't know if that was an intentional thing or not. You could mute HDMI audio in the other menu. Oh, yes. Right, of course. I forgot that you're trying to mute all the audio, not specific audio. Yeah. So, okay. So what you're doing, for your setup, let's put this back to normal. We would have our USB audio going to Zoom. Might as well just do live mix at that point. Our main audio going to Zoom contains everything. And then, yeah, back in the other menu, the device configuration, here you can just mute all audio if you don't need some of the audio. I was in my what I was picturing was send audio to the projector with like your video playback or sound effects or something, but not your microphone. But yes, if you just want full mute, then yeah, you can at least use that feature for it. Eric says, if this is your first time or second for the PKTV live stream, like and subscribe. Thank you for the reminder. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Does anybody know if a HyperDeck output is the same as the ATEM? Can you add a HyperDeck via USB-C? I don't know, but we can find out because I did run my USB-C cables to the desk for this purpose. So we've got, where is that camera? If I did this right, that USB-C port is actually the HyperDeck that is playing that clip. And I don't know what video format the HyperDeck sends out over USB. Let's find out. That is not plugged into the right one. Oh my gosh, it's too... Hey. Is that going to work? It recognized the USB device in the... I can see that button lit up, but there's no video, and that means that it's not the right video format. So no, HyperDecks look like they support the same. Let's get this back in the right spot for the overhead shot. Oh, my poor custom scene here is all misaligned. There we go. Better. Videogram, nice new toy. I'll wait for an SDI version before I dive in. I regret my HDMI OC version as I have to bring converters. Yeah, the SDI OC is a great for that. Are you planning to showcase use cases for the media player 10G from Blackmagic? I hope so. I don't know if I'm going to buy one or try to get them to just loan me one. I don't know if I have enough of an idea for like something I can film because it's like a 30-day loan usually. I don't know if I have enough of a concrete, this is what I'm going to film right now once I get a hold of it, plan for that. But we'll see. I hope I can. Oh, Daniel, sorry I missed this earlier. Thank you. The Camlink Pro is Windows only. If you're a Mac user, you need to go with the external Thunderbolt and the Blackmagic DeckLink Quad. Yeah, I have the Blackmagic DeckLink, which is in a Thunderbolt enclosure. You can also obviously put it into a like the Mac. What was it called? Mac Studio. If you have a Mac that has PCI slots. Can you specify the video input format? No. Like it'll tell you what it is, but you can't like do anything. You can't change it or anything. So this is telling me that HDMI 1 is 1080p 30 YUV. I don't have a webcam connected anymore. Let's plug that webcam back in, and then it should show up there in a second. There it goes. That one is saying 1080p 24. Why is it 24? I don't know. That's interesting. Why is the cam link 24 frames per second? Is that a cam link thing? I didn't know that. It's getting 30 frames per second input into the cam link. Interesting. You know what I'm going to do actually is demonstrate what happens when there's frame drops. So if I go to the stress test, let me move that into the cam link. And you'll see what I mean. So, there it goes. Okay, so that's the cam link input coming into over USB. Oh, it was there. Come back. There it goes. And let's see if it's still telling me that it's... Oh, now it's... So the cam link did change. It changed to 30 now. Does that mean that it's my video wall controller that's doing 24? And the cam link switches to 24. Interesting. I don't think I filmed that in 24 frames per second. I'll have to look into that. Have you wirelessly connected Rode mics yet? Sorry, you're tuning in. I have, although I didn't actually do it yet on this stream. But yeah, it does work. Let me disconnect it from the... Oops. Disconnect it from the Rodecaster Duo. So the way this works is you go... Don't actually know if I can do this while it is on... Well, it's streaming. Let's find out. Audio. Wireless settings, tap to pair. You can. And then I will just tap on that. And there it goes. So now this is connected and I've got wireless mic into the Rodecaster video. It is very cool. Okay. Oh my gosh. I think I caught up to the questions. William says, can we see it with the Mevo Core? I don't have one of those handy right now. It should work just fine, though. I mean, it's just HDMI out of the Mevo Core. So it shouldn't be anything special. Okay. That was a lot of questions. Yeah, great. Okay. Well, that was fun. What else people want to know? I just realized I need to update my my member list for the credits. It's been a while since I've done that. So let's take care of that right now. There we go. Nice intro to the Rodecaster video. Thank you. Yeah, well, make sure you check out all my other videos because I have a bunch of videos on the channel already that go into more use case specific stuff. So do check that out because there's already like 4 videos and there's gonna be more coming this week. Just one this week and then hopefully another one next week. There's definitely a lot of interesting stuff that it can do. And I went through like the exercise of setting it up for Lily Studio upstairs. I went through setting up for a conference. So those are, yeah, those are good videos to watch as well. How much is it? I think it's 1,300. That sounds right. Have you updated your ATEM Constellation with the new firmware 6.2? 1,200, says Gwen. Great. I did update the firmware, and one of the cool things they did in the ATEM is not actually exposed in the UI yet, except for this audio. But there is a whole new feature in the Constellation line that that lets you do audio mapping. So I can actually properly do audio mapping now. So I can say, for example, if I'm feeding video into HyperDecks, I can send audio from only certain inputs into the HyperDecks to do proper ISO recording, which is great news. I'm very, very happy for that because there's no UI for it yet. So you have to do a bunch of XML edits, but it does work. I tested it. And I assume that means I assume that a UI for it is coming. So that'll be exciting. Oh, Jason says, if you connect an iPhone via USB, can you stream directly to YouTube like an ATEM? Can you stream from Can you stream from a USB webcam in YouTube? I didn't think that was the thing. I will admit I have not gone live on the app though. I didn't think it had webcam input though. Let's find out. If I plug this in, it totally depends on the app basically. As to whether the app supports video input from. I thought that iPhones don't even have webcam input. I thought it was the iPad only. Yeah, this isn't going to work. There's no webcam selector here. It's the iPad that has webcam input. But yeah, that should work fine on this. Yeah, we do need more. Does he mean using the data connection? Is that what you mean? That is what you mean. If you connect the iPhone via USB, can you stream to YouTube? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. There's no. I'm trying to. I feel like they mentioned that. Maybe it was one of those things that got cut. But yeah, like using the iPhone as a modem, as a tethering. Yeah. How do you feel the Rodecaster is worth the extra price versus the ATEM Mini Pro, etc.? So this, I feel like, deserves a whole video. Because at first glance, the Rodecaster video looks like an ATEM Mini. But the Rodecaster video has Super Source, which is the custom layouts. So you can do this. You cannot do this in the ATEM Mini if you go to the Extreme. It also actually has 6 video inputs, not 4, because 2 of them are USB. So it's actually closer to the ATEM Mini Extreme already. But then on the ATEM Mini Extreme, if you want to play back videos like this, now you need to get another device of some kind. It could be a HyperDeck, $500. It could be an iPad. It could be more than that. So already we've got an ATEM Mini Extreme plus a HyperDeck, which is now $1,800. And then audio. Like this is a Rodecaster Duo inside. So now there's another $500. So yeah, I do think it's worth it. I don't want a skateboard size switcher like the Mini Extreme. Exactly. The ATEM Mini Extreme is not exactly mini. But the ATEM Mini Pro does not let you do this much stuff. Dark Horse Workshop says, for me, the main thing is that it can record ISO while streaming at the same time. Exactly. It's a super powerful feature. And ATEM Mini ISO models do have that feature as well, but not a lot of other switchers do. Patrick said, how many chroma keys can we use simultaneously? You know, I haven't actually tested that. Let's find out. I don't have anything green set up here to test, really, but we can do it anyway. Keying. Let's do this one blue. Cool, my TV got keyed out. Can I do it here also? Aha, found it. Max 2 inputs keyed. What's the other one that's keyed? Oh, that is the one. What's the second one that's keyed out? remove. I don't know what's this. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 2. Okay, 2 is the answer. Now input 1 is keyed, input 2 is keyed, 3 and 4 are not. So I have 2. I can have 2. Yeah. There you go. How do you feel it compares to the OSEE GoStream? Well, the GoStream is definitely a lot more affordable. So as long as you're okay with the limits of that, definitely a good option. But like again, so that it does have video playback, but it's more like a channel, like a video channel. So it's like another source that you select, rather than the way this one works, where it's like can be added like alongside other sources. I don't know if it makes any sense. It's different. This one you can load up 7 clips. You can only have like 1 player in the GoStream. But the audio, again, big feature, audio mixer in this, and the GoStream doesn't really have an audio mixer. But if you're okay with those limits, then the GoStream is fantastic because it's so affordable. So it really just depends on what you actually need out of it. Gwen says, I personally think the Duet is the best bang for the buck small portable switcher. That I have no argument with. Absolutely. I do. I agree. It's the best bang for the buck. Why is my mouse glitching? The keying stays with the input, so you can't use the source keyed in one scene and not keyed in the other. Correct. Which is, I don't know why you would like that. This is how I would want it to work, because if you have a, let's say like I have a green screen, I can almost pull it up. Let's say I have my green screen pulled up. I'm never going to want to show you the shot with the green background, right? So same with like if I'm doing graphics with the green screen, I never want to show you the green background. So the way it works here is that it's keyed out on the input rather than like on the ATEM where the keying happens like separately. So it's actually really nice. Like you go and you can set up the overhead might key out. Let's see if I key that's kind of messy. Let's make it blue. It's not a good key, but if I use this in scenes now, I really need to get something with actual green background. I guess I could do my little drawing trick. Let me get my Apple TV routed in here instead. So let's turn off the keying. Let's get the Apple TV routed into, let's say, input 3. So this is my Apple TV, and now I can go and let's get my iPad out of the case. So if I go grab my drawing app, and then I need to share this screen. So that is the Apple TV, which should start mirroring this screen in a minute. There we go. And let's put this into full screen mode. Okay, so now I got my iPad screen, right? And this I can draw and it shows up there. Cool. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to key it out. So I'm going to do this, keying, choose blue, make it transparent. Now, great. I've got my drawing, the white part, and the blue part's been removed. So this already looks better because I never want to show you a blue background, right? But now where it's really cool is I can then use it as an overlay. So I can go make a new scene and then go edit that scene in the computer to add in input 3. And now I can draw on top of the video. So I can get rid of that. I can say Rodecaster, and I'm just drawing on the iPad and it's showing up on top. But that makes sense, right? Because I never want to show you the blue from here. So if I did, for some reason, want to go and show you the graphics full screen, at least it looks good now. So, yeah, it's a cool little trick. Now I've got that as a scene. What is the name of that iPad drawing app? This is called Procreate. And this one, I use this one because it has the option for, in here, it has the option to, it's called Project Canvas. And without that, it will mirror the iPad UI into here. So I don't want it to show you all the UI, right? I want it to only show the drawing. So Project Canvas makes the drawing show up full screen. I'm looking for a solution to wirelessly control my two PTZs and send the HDMI or SDI signal back. You can always get a PTZ with a wireless remote. This is $100. It's not very good, but it's $100. So that's pretty fun. But seriously though, you wirelessly, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research into wirelessly controlled heads. I know there's a lot that have Ethernet PoE. The thing is that you're also gonna have to power it somehow. So like it's actually oftentimes easier to just run an Ethernet cable to it anyway, because it gives it power and network then. So think about that. Okay. I think we need to wrap this up because it's been 2 hours already of messing around with the Rodecaster video. But that's been fun. So, keep the questions coming in the comments after we are done. I assume Rode may come up with an SDI version. Have you heard anything? I would not assume that. I don't think necessarily that the market that they're going for has a lot of SDI needs. So yeah, not totally sure. You are not very good. PTZ remote is still way better than the Pocket 3 virtual joystick in the Mimo app. True. Yes. Physical buttons are nice. Thanks. Heading over to Curtis Judd's live stream. Oh yeah, good call. We'll send people over there. Oops. Let's see if I can find his oh, is it his second channel that's going live? Curtis Judd Audio. Where is he? Yep. I'll drop a link to him. Go check out his channel. He's got lots of good audio tips, way better audio tips than me. So thank you everybody for watching, and we will roll the credits. Thanks to our extreme supporters, Larry, David, and Marcin. And thanks to everybody else for being a channel member. Again, if you are a channel member, make sure you click on the little member section on YouTube and join the Discord so they can keep chatting throughout the week. I will be, as usual, posting behind the scenes photos of what's going on in here as I've now finished rearranging my new background, but it'll be fun. We'll be back. Oh, I forgot that I need to actually pack up a rig for the event on Saturday. So by the time you see me on Sunday next week, I will have done a actual conference for reals. It's been the first time in a while. So that'll be fun. I'll report back on how that went and what I took with me. I probably can't actually post live video while I'm there for the members, but I will definitely take pictures of what I can to share the rig and how it went. So yeah, we'll be back same time, same place here next week with more, getting up to more trouble, I guess, with this Rodecaster and possibly other cameras, other switchers, whatever. I know how to talk. So yeah, we will see you all again next week. Why did the credits freeze? All right, see you all. Bye.